Well, Bill, you're first up.
Hey,
welcome.
How you doing, Bobby?
I'm doing great. Welcome to Bobby Likas Car Clinic. Glad to have you in the house.
Well, we're having a lot of dispute down here in Oklahoma because a lot of us drive pickup trucks. I've got a 97 F-150 that's got 86,000 miles and a 98 F-150 four-wheel drive to get around in the weather down here that's only got 72,000 miles on it.
Well, hey, if you were in Texas, you can multiply that by, everything's big in Texas. So for every truck that's in Oklahoma, I bet you there are 5 of them in the state of Texas.
Anyway, we're kind of debating down here whether to buy like a used Ford Focus and spend $11,000 on a year or two old car, or else even buying a used Toyota Prius, $20,000 if you can find one. And does it offset the value of keeping our trucks? Because I'm retired, I only drive to town when I need to, and I just wonder about the expenditure of $10,000 to $20,000 on a used quote economical vehicle unquote, if I've already got these paid for.
Well, that's a good question. I just had this conversation with a friend of mine at dinner over the last weekend, and he's got an Avalanche, and we do all the service work on it, and it's in perfect shape. And he said, you know what I just did, Bobby? He said, I went out and bought a Corolla. Now, this I totally disagree with. He bought a $300 Corolla that's going to need an engine, and he's going to, I don't know how he's going to do this because he's a home builder by trade. And, of course, quite honestly, his business is not 100% right now. And so he's conserving and cutting back, as all of us are. And I'll tell you, he bought an old used car, Corolla, from a friend of his, and they like to tinker together. And he's going to put an engine in the Corolla and expect it to get 30 miles per gallon. But, when I left his house, I went through my mind. I said, this is not going to work because he's going to buy a $300 car. He's going to spend $500 on it. And then he's going to save a little bit on gas. But a week from now or 2 weeks, he's going to have to buy an alternator, then a transmission, then a clutch. So definitely a used old car is not the answer. Now, I also would say that a used Prius is not the answer, and I would go so far as to say that a new Prius is not the answer because they've bumped the price $5,000.
Yeah.
And so if you look at what would I buy for, let's say a new car, the Toyota Camry Hybrid has a 1.7-year payback, and that's assuming 15,000 miles a year, and that's not $4 a gallon. That's assuming $3.67 per gallon. So if you bought a new Toyota Camry Hybrid, which, by the way, I saw one last evening, and it was drop-dead gorgeous. I had to actually stop and look at it. It had unique hybrid logos on the car, and so I love that. The Prius is 3-year payback, or 2.6, and the Nissan Altima 3.4, Mercury Mariner 4.4, and the GMC Yukon Hybrid's 4.9. Now, that doesn't bode well for a Yukon. By the same token, if you've got a family of 6 and you're going to pull a 6,000-pound boat, you're not going to do it with a Prius or a Camry Hybrid. You've got to have a Yukon, and they get 50%. The dual mode hybrid Yukon has a 50% increase in MPG. Now, back to your specific question and your situation.
Yeah, I'm a retired guy. I don't have $30,000 to spend on it.
I hear you. So let me ask you a question. How many miles do you drive a year?
Probably 8,000.
Well, then I don't see where it pays you to do anything but drive the car that you have and spend a little money on trying to increase the MPG on your vehicle and combine your trips and make that 8,000 miles count and use the least expensive gasoline that you can buy in Oklahoma. I mean, to me, there are a lot of things that you can do. You can do induction system cleans. You can use synthetic oil, upgrades to synthetic oil. You watch your tire pressure more closely. You can put a free flow air filter. You service the vehicle. Put a set of Icon wiper blades, and that's the ones that I love. They're made by Bosch, and that's nothing to do with gas mileage, but it just feels good when the wipers work in the rain, and I would keep that vehicle. I just don't see how, for 8,000 miles a year, you do the math. It doesn't work for 8,000 miles a year that you could ever pay for a used car, and the very car that you're looking for, your next-door neighbor's looking for the same car. I mean,
my wife's very happy with you right now because I've been kind of pushing to get like a used Focus, spend about $10,000-$11,000 on one.
Well,
she'll be very happy to hear we ought to keep what we have.
Hey, I'd rather get along with your wife anytime that I had you, Bill.
Hey, thank you, sir.
I thank you, sir, and thank your wife. We'll take another call. 888-227-2546.